I just want to make sure. Happy Friday, boss.
Again, I'll keep saying this until the meeting starts, and I'll say, you can stand and talk in groups now, but once the meeting starts, you must be 6 feet apart, or unless you're in the same household. Thank you.
This you approved because they have the color in there.
Okay, it's not marked.
Right. You didn't mark it tomorrow. No, so I assumed that. Because you originally just approved it February 5th because the color was.
So now it is.
Right.
Yeah. I was a month off.
We're all on a roll today.
Oh my God.
Hazel.
Hi, Hazel.
I see the water. Here, okay. You're welcome. Good to see you. Yeah.
I had my first.
It says on the shape.
That's what I got.
You want to play ping pong or something?
Football.
Remember that? Remember that? Remember the triangles? Yeah. And then you open it up and read the message. Isn't he cute?
2-minute warning. Hey, Mark. Oh, did you tell him to close the door?
Yeah, that's what he's, yeah.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance and moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Deb.
Yes, good morning. Jennifer Smiley.
Here.
Ann Ozinger.
Here.
Susan Muniak. Here. Beverly Hasty.
Here.
Jean Hare. Barry Burgess. Larry Algren.
Here.
And Jerry Beers.
Here. John.
Yes, Jerry, as per your documents of Florida statute, notice was posted for this meeting.
Next is the tips of the minutes meetings. So,
I'll make a motion that we accept them as printed.
is there a second by Ann?
Second.
Any questions on them? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Ann?
I make a motion, we accept the closed board meeting minutes of March 4th as presented.
Second.
Second by Sue. Any questions on them? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Before we start the meeting, we're gonna have a young lady stand up and say thank you or speak on behalf of her parents. We won't be taking any comments or anything to say afterwards. So Dee, if you could approach and introduce yourself.
Kind of hard. Ian Gatto. Where's the Pat McKibben with my parents? I just want to thank Tim Brooks and the board and the community for everything they've done, coming to the garage sale, coming to the state sale, and supporting me and my siblings. And I just want to tell you guys thank you, and I do appreciate it.
Dee, thank you and wish you guys the best of luck.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's move on with treasurer's report.
Okay. Our income for the month of January was $99,538.60. And our expenses were $79,785.02 for a net gain of $19,753.58, which year-to-date our gain right now is $15,490.38. In our operating accounts, we have $384,951.33. In the Driftwood accounts is $42,666.71. Our current assets, in other words, our cash reserves, which are all our CDs and the various accounts, is $889,202.06. The delinquencies and fines, the fines of the total is $44,710.89, which is higher than last month. We have more people who either missed the payments in January than have before, but the total is still a fairly, but we did increase the amount that are at the attorney. So the total is $44,710.89. That's it.
Any questions from the board to the treasurer? Anybody in the audience that have, Ann?
Yeah, Sue, I noticed that the one on CS operating account
Yes.
was moved to another one.
Yeah, well, they're still doing the transition from Bank of the Ozarks to Popular Bank, and I do not know why. They don't just go plop, but
Thank you.
yeah.
Any resident, no questions? Seeing none, we will accept the treasurer's report as written. Somebody want to make a motion?
Almost.
Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
John?
Okay, Jerry, later on our agenda, we have some proposals to replace the floor in the library. As far as the landscaping cleanup work that we've approved, we're nearing the end of that. We've got about 2 more days of cleanup, and then we can start the process of the next phase of planting. I actually called the landscaper yesterday and asked him that if he had us on a schedule for Monday or Tuesday to postpone that until after Tuesday. I think the board's probably contemplating now whether we're going to move forward with a landscape designer or not. We're trying to set up some appointments if that's the case. The wall painting project has been completed. We executed a contract with an electrician to replace the post lights on the pool decking in conjunction with the patio replacement project. That project is scheduled to begin first thing Monday morning, and it's anticipated to be 3 weeks. We're also in-house, we're going to seal those pavers, and we're hoping that from start to finish that the pool will be closed for 3 weeks. That's the anticipation. I believe that's the only thing we're doing in-house with that project is the sealing of the pavers. The update on the maintenance building, the engineer has submitted an application for septic approval to the county. We did get confirmation that the county would add that to the agenda for an upcoming meeting, and we don't have an update if that's been discussed at a county meeting yet or not. Hopefully we'll get an update on that soon. And the signs that were approved at a previous meeting have been ordered. We do not have those in hand yet. All I have, Jerry.
Thank you. And John, just so everybody would know that the new maintenance guy, Clyde, I forget his last name, I'm sorry. Watson started on Monday. Yeah.
Yes, I have a question, John. You mentioned 2 more days that 3 Seasons needed to come back. Is this, what, are they coming back to finish what we paid them for?
At our last meeting, we approved additional time, and that time has not been expended yet.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for John? Any residents wish to speak to the board, not to John?
Yeah, Thompson, Hachita Drive. I have 2 questions. One is with the landscaping, going by what I think I just heard, is there, now that everything is already ripped out, is the new stuff already planned and approved to go in? Or he said something about the board isn't ready yet or something? Something that you're going to discuss that has to do with the landscaping going in? Did I hear that right or did I misunderstand that?
Sue or Jennifer, who's been working on that?
Do we know what's going in? Is it ready to go in?
I know that there's a couple of the board members involved, and we'll let them answer that. Go ahead, Sue.
We took out all the overgrowth and stuff that needed to be taken out. So, and the maintenance department has been working on fixing the sprinklers that are in there. And now comes the design part. We will be looking for a landscape designer to help design what will be going into the thing. We had to clear it to get the clear palette so that we know what's there. We left what we knew was good and we want to showcase the trees. It's a work in progress. Nothing has been decided as to whether we're putting green or orange plants in or
No,
what.
you basically answered my question. I was wondering why we ripped everything out if we didn't even know what we were going to put in. But now I understand you needed to see the overall picture empty first.
It was so overgrown, Gail, that
Oh, I
it
know.
was hard to see what we had to work with.
I understand that. Now, the more important thing that I think I heard, and I want to make sure, is we're spending X amount of money to have the pool resurfaced or redone, retiled, whatever the case may be. The decking. Now, did I just understand right that in-house, that means our people are going to seal it?
The
Go ahead.
the pavers will be put down by the paving company, the paver company and all that.
Okay,
The topical sealer,
okay,
the non-slip sealer will be applied by our maintenance.
okay. Did you get some kind of a guarantee with the pavers that are going down? Because if we seal them, will they be able to come back if we have a problem in 2 years and say, well, it's your fault, we didn't seal it, so we're not responsible?
Yes, we will be covered by the warranty for the.
Please make sure, because
Dale, just so you know, the stuff that is being used is recommended by the people putting the pavers down.
as long as they can't come back and
They
say,
gave us the option. These guys did a very thorough job in researching and getting done, and questions was asked. I appreciate you following up and asking the same questions. It's deeply appreciated. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions for the board on John's report? Seeing there's none, we'll move on to the next, which is the ARC. Is LeMay in the house? LeMay?
May Nyford Oaks Club. We met on Monday and we have 11 approved for architectural reviews and 3 that were denied.
All right, somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the 11 that the art committee has suggested approval.
I'll second.
That's second by Larry. Any questions from the board on them? Any questions from the residents on them? Seeing that there's none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next one, let's do these denies one at a time. Go ahead. Sir?
Oh, you want,
Yeah, you can do it.
or do you want?
No, you can do it.
I'll make a motion that we deny the request at 10524 Hill Rise Court. And,
That's on the deck.
yeah, because of the deck does not meet with our guidelines.
Any questions from the board? It's second by Ann. Any
No,
questions?
I wanted to ask LeMay, is the reason because of the 50% grass guideline?
We're assuming that there is not enough room in the yard,
Thank you.
although it wasn't really put down how big the yard is, but it's
Right. We're just-
too big.
And it just wasn't a deck that they were putting down.
Right.
So this just has to be done over, right? When she gets back, she'll resubmit it another way on it.
And I will second.
Yeah. Any other questions? Somebody want to make, all in favor to deny this, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next one, somebody want to handle?
Can I handle that one?
Yeah.
The second one was at 8030 San Bernardino Drive. It said on the paper that it was a 12-foot driveway, which obviously it was not. It was a 2-car garage, and you could see 2 cars that were parked in it on the picture that was sent in. I called a gentleman. It's kind of hard to understand him. He has an accent, so I drove out after the meeting. We had denied it, but I drove out to make sure, and the driveway is actually 16 feet. And I measured what was added on, because it's already done, and it was 9 feet, which makes it much larger than what it should be, and it was not done correctly. So that was denied.
Somebody want to make a motion? So,
I
I'll make the motion that we deny the ARC request at 8030 San Bernardino.
I'll second it.
Any other comments? Motion's been made to accept their denial on this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next one. You want to handle it? Go ahead, Sue.
I'll make the motion that we deny the ARC for 8505 Winding Wood.
Is it second by anybody?
I'll second.
Second. And that was because the colors don't match, LeMay, is it?
Colors are not approved colors.
Okay.
I'd just like to comment that we need to deny it for sure because of their unapproved colors. But personally, I would have accepted these colors. I recommend that the new ARC committee next year, whoever's on the ARC, review the guidelines and update the colors. I know it couldn't be done all last year because we were, locked down and stuff, but the colors we go on are probably from the 80s.
We have approved some new colors that we accept, and if it's close to any of the colors,
Yeah,
we accept.
Right.
This was not.
right, exactly. But like I said, these wouldn't have looked bad, so, I'd like to see some updated colors.
Any other comments? So all in favor to accept this denial, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, LeMay.
You're welcome.
Let's move on to the committee reports. Karen, you wanna? Yeah, because you turned it in there on the election committee. Oh, that's right. It's under the committee, we can handle it. Yeah, we can handle it there. Yeah.
Karen Fritsch, Election Committee Chair. And this year we have 6 candidates for the 3 positions that are going to be opening up on the board. In alphabetical order, they are Chris Dombrowski, Donna Mosier, LeMay Neifert, Brenda Owens, Ed Weiner, and Patricia French Weislick, aka Patty. Our committee for this year is Marie Farrell, Kim Miracle, Jane Rogers, Virginia Agler, Liz Goodnow, and myself. Candidates night will be March 15th at 5 o'clock. It'll be live streamed. And we're asking residents to send questions to the office by 4 o'clock that day for us to ask candidates. We'll do it pretty much the process that we used last year that seemed to have worked well, where I would be asking, one of the committee members, I should say, will be asking the questions. And all the candidates will have the opportunity to answer each of the questions.
All right, and I see you want to approve your committee?
Oh, yes.
Yes. And
Make a motion that we approve the committee members listed as submitted by Karen Fritsch, the chairperson.
and it's second by Larry. Anybody else have questions on approving that committee? Any residents have any questions on that committee? Seeing there's none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And just one final note, the counting of the ballots will be April 5th at the annual meeting. Those volunteering to count are being contacted as we speak. And it looks like we're having a good number, so we're doing good. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. On the committee report, Connie, do you want to, is Connie here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good morning, I'm Connie Arnman, president of Live Oaks Club. And we have requested for the current Live Oaks board to remain as is until next year and not have an election this year due to the fact that, we haven't been able to fulfill our plans. And we're requesting your approval on this.
Okay, let's just take one step at a time. Gentlemen,
I'll make a motion that we approve Live Oaks Board to stay intact for another year.
second? So, okay. I just saw, let's. Any questions from the board, Blair?
Yeah. Everyone is for this?
Yes,
Everyone?
we had a meeting last week and discussed it, and everyone's agreed. Of course, as you know, Marilyn Hare has resigned because of her health issues. So we are still looking for a vice president, but a vice president hasn't had to do anything. So we'll just kind of move forward with that and still have our request out.
Any residents want to speak on that? All right, motion's been made. Okay. Yep, we'll roll. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And then I have a second request. People have been asking about resuming the Tuesday night event in the parking lot.
And
I'll make a motion that we allow the Live Oaks to resume their music on Tuesday nights with food trucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
and a DJ on the,
Yes.
yep. Is there a second? Second by Bev. Any discussions? Sue?
My one concern is the volume of the music. I have heard numerous times from not always the same persons that it is extremely loud, those that live in proximity to the lake. So if there's a way to keep it lower, that's the only, that's the only complaint I hear. And please remember social distancing while you're doing it.
Yes, we have heard the same complaint about the volume. However, you've got to remember it's early that we do this. We're done by 7 or 8 o'clock latest.
What hours are you looking at?
Well, generally in the past, we've had it no later than 8 when it's lighter later. Right now, I think they've been starting over in Monterey at 4 and ending at 7. So in my opinion, if you can't put up with a little noise till 7, there's, I don't know.
I believe it's 8.
Oh, is it 8? Well, it's pretty dark. It's pitch dark by 8.
Yeah.
The time changes in another week too.
And
We go to daylight savings, I believe, the 14th or 15th of this
Yeah, we do.
month. So
14.
so that'll give the extra hour of daylight.
any other questions from the board member? Any, Jennifer?
So this will be a Live Oaks sanctioned event, is what you're saying now?
Well, in the past, the music part was not considered Live Oaks. We just would furnish the food, obtain the food truck. So I don't, it's just kind of, thank you.
But you're taking the whole thing over, right?
I'm not.
Well, I mean, because the board,
It was requested by Lori and myself because several people have approached.
yeah, but what I'm saying is Live Oaks, it will be assuming the responsibility of the music and food truck, if there is any, and setting up and cleaning up out there.
So you're not gonna do it anymore?
No, I'm not gonna do it anymore. But I mean, I'm just saying is that somebody has to assume that responsibility out there.
If we do proceed with this, then we will,
You guys have
discuss
to,
that we have somebody in charge of setting up and taking down the cones
the
and
cones
all that kind of,
and
the caution tape and stuff like
right,
that.
and moving the trash cans over by the things at the end of the night.
Yes, I understand.
Yep. So, any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. One opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
Chris Dabrowski for Finance. We know.
Chris, I can barely hear you.
Chris Dabrowski for Finance. We noted extensive costs for RV gate repairs. 119, it was $164.93. And on the 29th, it was $1,410. And we also paid for garage door openers in the sum of $249.50. Also noted, last month, we had a credit from Pasco County in the sum of $1,774.79 for the clubhouse water. And the county is only adjusting our bill from the approximate normal of $240 down to $161.56 for this month. And our next meeting's the 29th.
Thank you, Chris. Anybody have any questions for Chris? Anybody in the audience have any questions on that? Seeing there's none, thank you, Chris.
Looks good now, finance. From suspension.
Liz, I can barely hear
Oh,
you.
you can, and I think it's the mic, I don't think it's me.
You have that soft voice.
I took my mask off, but you
Okay.
never would have heard me do that. We met on 2/23 for two hearings. One was for a resident at 8610 Windingwood Drive. It's a violation of lawn and landscaping. Violation was corrected, so the fine was not enforced. We also did for Middletown Property Management for 10941 Water Oak Drive. It was a vehicle camper in the driveway. The fine was enforced because when we rode by the very last day, it was still there.
It's still there.
It's still there today, I'm sure. This was a fine of $50 a day to a max of $5,000.
Any questions for Liz?
Liz, I have a question. When the committee is notified that that the person has met the responsibility, the fine is stopped that day?
Well, it's my understanding that the fine is, if the office is notified that it has been corrected, it still has to go through the process of the fines committee to make sure that it's because it's within the process. The board has done what they needed to do to make the fine. We have to finish the process out, and what we do is just do not enforce the fine, we don't approve it.
Okay, so if you can't meet for a week after somebody's notified the office, is that whole week? You can just say we're not fining them for that week because we couldn't meet.
The whole fine, in my understanding, would be,
Yes, Sue.
The fine doesn't start until after they meet. So if when they meet,
You're missing my point, so.
you're missing the point. The people who the fine that they didn't find, they haven't been fined yet.
My question is for somebody that has already been fined. They've already had their meeting and somebody went to fining. They're already being fined. Okay, they notify the office that they have corrected their problem that they're getting fined for. Does that stop that day, or do they have to wait for another meeting, which may not take place for another week?
It doesn't go to them.
Okay. That was my question, it had nothing to do about going to fining.
did you get it? Did you get it answered?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so. Well, not really, because I don't know if the fine
Once we
stops
pass
the
it
day
Right, and once we pass it over to.
The fine should be stopping the day the office is notified,
And it's verified.
and then it goes out and verified.
That was my question and my answer. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Liz. Dale?
Well, I was gonna try to help out with that, but, once the person, notifies that the problem is being fixed, then they do get a letter saying how much they owe in the fine that they had been getting of the $50 a day. Now, if the project isn't finished yet, then the good news is that, they're not still being fined, I believe, once they get a letter saying they owe X amount. But I still don't, I mean, in my opinion, I don't even think that's right, because things take time like we know. I mean, look at the projects we've started, and for one reason or another, they couldn't get done when we planned on them getting done. Well, like with my neighbor's roof, right now, he knows it's going to get done, but they can't give him an exact date. Now, another thing I want to mention is, had it been that he had windows falling out, that wouldn't even be getting fixed right now, because part of the project that he got into also would have gave him all new windows, but because of COVID, windows are so backordered that they can't even give people windows anymore. So it's the same thing with anything else, a roofer or whatever. And yes, and you did bring up a good point, but yes, going even further, we will do that. I'm just waiting, I want to see the whole thing started and the roof getting done.
Thank you.
Ellie?
What the procedure was, though, is the board aware that these two were going to be fined? I thought the procedure was the board announces it at a board meeting, and then it goes to the fining committee, and they either approve or disapprove what
We
you
did that
recommended.
already,
So you did do that?
yes. That's how Liz in the fining committee got the paperwork.
Oh, okay. So at a previous meeting, you voted on?
Yes, we did,
Oh, okay. I guess that's when we weren't attending it.
I guess.
Okay.
Thank you for your input.
Okay.
Anybody else? We got the one from orientation. I don't think Lori's there, but they had their, yeah, go ahead.
The first orientation in the clubhouse for 2021. There were 9 new residents in attendance, which was a good turnout. Lois gave her update on the Live Oaks activities, and Lori gave her talks on HOA guidelines review from the booklet. Good questions, and some residents needed to go to the office to register or receive an additional form. Respectfully submitted, Lori Kreisel.
Thank you, Beverly. Anybody have any questions? And there's none. Sue, you want to handle the one?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the following people for the 2021 Budget Committee: Chris Dombrowski, Patty Weislick, Karen Fritsch, Rob Sinowski, whatever, sorry, Rob, and Beverly Hudak.
Is it second? Second by Beverly. Any comments? I was just glad to see, I don't know if, Karen, is this your first time to be on this? No. And, but Beverly's first time, right?
Yes.
Which is nice. I love seeing new people get involved and because it's usually always the same people.
Karen was on it last year, but this year she'll be much more valuable. Because you've been through the process once. You know what you're doing.
Well, since there's a motion on the floor, anybody else have any comments on this budget committee recommendation? Since we have none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Can I ask, is the budget committee a meeting now or somewhere, soon? or-
So,
The first budget committee meeting will be March 11th at 9:30 a.m.
And that's open for residents if they wish to attend?
If you wish to attend, as long as we still have room in the room.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
but again, I mean, that can be, the room can be moved if we have to move. the
If we
room.
have to
I
move,
mean,
yeah.
you know, if the auditorium's not being used or the porch not being used, you can move the meeting. There's no big deal there. We also want to try and accommodate any residents that maybe want to go there, maybe in the future would want to be on that to see what's like, so. Let's move into unfinished business. Fires update. As you know, Monday and Tuesday, they're going to be giving the shots here. We still got a lot of details to be worked out. Yeah, well, it was sent out to people who's signed up and turned the paperwork in. There was a robocall sent out to those people because they're the ones that was signed up and were looking for it. I mean, I don't think you would be interested if you already got the shot. It's none of your concern in a sense. But again, the people that we were more pointing out to is people that's on the list waiting. And we're meeting Sunday with a nurse. We will be closing the office for Monday and Tuesday because we have to supply all the help here. And a lot of details have to be worked out. Yeah.
You might want to mention the clubhouse in its entirety, no activities.
Correct,
for
there's no
Monday and Tuesday,
activity.
because we'll be utilizing most of the building for the vaccine. Just, you know.
Because they have to enter through one door, leave through another, they have to get the shot, go into another room. And so it's gonna be but for the residents, that's what we did. And I give John a lot of credit. I mean, all the BS and people made it sound like John and the board wasn't doing anything, but these people in the office and the boards have been, especially the boards, have been on John's case. You know, we like Debbie and Darlene, so we don't bother them, but we get on John's case to keep in touch. You know, and believe me, he has been, and they called, and it was just said Monday, Tuesday. They didn't say, how would you like it? Maybe Monday, Tuesday, when they told us when, and they said they'll be here Sunday at 11 to talk to us so we can get it all straightened out. Yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer, so you're saying if somebody wants to come in and use the gym on Monday or Tuesday, they're not allowed? I don't remember the board voting on that.
As of right now, well, the board hasn't voted on anything
We haven't
officially.
voted on anything, but
You know, but for us to prepare for this, and so again, I was gonna bring some stuff up, but since you brought that up, somebody can make a motion to, yes, Jennifer?
I'd like to make a motion that since we're having the county come in to administer the shots, that we close the entire clubhouse for anything other than the vaccine distribution
On
on
Monday
Monday and
and
Tuesday.
Yeah. And it's second by 11.
It was from 8 to 3, is what they're doing it, from 8 to 3.
From 8 to 3, anything after 3 o'clock.
It would be open.
Okay. And, well, I don't think we're gonna have the auditorium opened up. And any of the rooms that we're using, let's have it the following day, so that we don't need to set back up in these rooms. Yeah, John?
Larry, we're probably gonna, the rooms, like the auditorium, probably the card room at least. Some of these rooms, we're gonna try to pre-set up for that on Sunday.
Yeah.
So the affected areas should maybe from Sunday at noon until Tuesday afternoon.
So what two rooms are you asking for? The auditorium
It's probably gonna be at a minimum, the auditorium and, I would say the card room.
or the porch?
Or the porch, yeah.
Yeah, I would say the porch, because then they go from here right straight into the porch. I mean, that's my feeling.
I just think we need to wait and just see how the nurse wants it set up, to be honest.
Right,
Because we don't know what's going to be best for
right.
her logistics. That's why I said, let's just shut it all down. And
Right,
then if something can be opened up Monday or Tuesday, then we can let.
right, or we can just put signs on the door, these rooms are closed.
Right.
We can leave it that way. So, any other comments? We need a motion, yeah.
May 9th with the club. You said about the robocall. I had 2 missed calls from the office and I have no message. My sister answered the phone 2 times and got no message. So I don't know if anyone actually got the robocall.
Yes, we are inundated, yes.
Anybody else?
Okay, you're closing Sunday also? or
No.
Just Monday and Tuesday?
We have to see how the Monday and Tuesday, Sunday, we're meeting with the nurse. And so, once we start signing the thing up, we'll put signs on the door. Like, in other words, if John's coming in and Mark's coming in, if we decide to use this room, then we'll close this room off on Sunday. And if we decide to use the porch or the thing, we'll close off, because we need to be ready when they come in. So, but as of the clubhouse is officially closed down during the daytime up to about 3 o'clock.
On Monday and Tuesday?
Yeah,
But not Sunday?
right. There'll be some rooms that may be closed off on Sunday, but we don't know yet until we talk to the nurse. But the clubhouse is open. Okay.
Sunday closed Monday and Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
class I have is canceled. Everything is
Yeah,
canceled.
if you've got something going on during the daytime,
Yeah, you can't.
you can't come.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Vote on.
Okay, we got comments.
Karen Fritsch, 8310 Dipway. My suggestion is.
I can't.
My suggestion would be that you would keep it closed Monday night into Tuesday, because like John said, things are gonna be set up for that, instead of opening it up at 3 o'clock.
We already
which is what it
talked
sounded
about,
like.
but we talked about putting signs on the doors to say they're closed. That's certain rooms. It's more to keep the traffic down during the daytime. And if the auditorium is being used and the porch being used, then we'll have signs on it that these rooms are closed.
Okay, half of the world's been closed for like over a year because of COVID. We're finally lucky enough for the people that do want the shot to have it available right here in their community. I think everybody in here, tops, Ellie's line dance class, card players, pool players, could go 3 days as a thank you for this taking place here. Shut the place down. You're gonna have people saying, well, I never heard I could come and use the card room. I didn't hear we could come and do this. It's gonna be crazy. Common sense, make it easy. Shut the place down till the shot is over. Everybody will still live and they'll be fine on Wednesday.
Thank you. So the motion on the floor is what?
Motion was to close the clubhouse.
Okay, we get somebody else.
We didn't receive the robocall, and what I want to know is, are they gonna do it by appointment or first come, first served or not?
No, if you check with the office, were you on the list?
Yes,
Yeah, check with the office, they have new forms for you to pick up.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, the motion on the floor is to close the whole place down Monday and Tuesday for the entire time. We'll open back up Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock for the gym. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Yeah.
May I also suggest that if you know anyone in the community that has not received their robocall about the vaccine and you know has signed up, if there was a problem with the robocalls, that's not really something we can correct at this point. But if you know someone that needs to have that information, please share the word, be a good neighbor, be a good citizen, and let your friends and neighbors know that if they signed up, it's coming Monday and Tuesday. Please. Thank you.
Can I just say something quick, because it might help? I mean, you all know Ellie and I will put this on Facebook.
I put it on her Facebook site yesterday.
And so did I.
And so did Sue.
That the place is gonna be closed?
No.
No.
So that's what I'm saying, if we put all this on there for the people that don't know it, rather than have them come up here and find out, do we also need to let them know, because you just told, I forgot her name, but the nice lady that was before me, that even though she signed up, she didn't get the robocall, but now you're saying she's gotta get a new paper to fill out.
Everybody has to have a new paper.
So you can't just come here Monday morning and get their shot, they've gotta come and get a new paper to fill out?
Yeah.
We'll have the papers here, but it's beneficial to have them filled out ahead of time. It's a consent form, but it is for the Timber Oaks community, and it will say that on the back.
It benefits people. Am I working here?
Yeah.
It benefits the people that have it pre-filled out so that it doesn't delay the nurse in giving the vaccine. Because she can't give it without that piece of paper.
The way it stands, like, if you don't have the paperwork filled out or your forms of identification, if your you need your driver's license or understanding, and if your driver's license doesn't say your address here in Florida, you need to bring something else, like that you got received mail at that address, like a utility bill or something, But if you don't have, as long as you have a mailing address, yes.
The other thing that you can do is bring a copy of your real estate taxes. You can get it online. It'll have your name that you will own that piece of property. And a utility bill, if you are a snowbird, that's what you're gonna need to prove that you have a residence here in Florida. Or if you're paying rent to someone. If you're renting someone's house or whatever, the receipt of the rent paid for that will work.
And like I said, I still think something with a mailing address, that you're living there, you're receiving mail there would show. Yeah, John.
Gary, two things. Just to reiterate the message from the county that we received yesterday. For everyone that has pre-registered with us, if you're over 65, and you have an official identification, and you need something, whether it's that official identification or some form of a utility bill, tax bill, et cetera, it shows that you're a Timber Oaks resident, then you can receive the vaccine. There are no exceptions to that rule. You must be over 65. You must have an identification. You must be able to prove residency. That's the message from the county. The message from us is we're going to post an alphabetical schedule for Monday and Tuesday. That schedule will be posted tonight. If you've pre-registered with us, come and look at that schedule. Come back according to that schedule. You must fill out the form and bring the new form and bring that with you.
We don't want 850 people signing it.
Let's wait, whoa.
Please,
Yeah, go ahead.
please, thank you. If if I could please make a suggestion here, okay? Allow John to contact Miss Ellie and maybe Miss Jennifer so that the wording is the same. Everybody's giving great information, but it's inundating us terribly. So if John could provide the information that should go on Facebook for Ellie's site and for Dale's site so that
Oh,
it's
and we need Lori's site too.
whomever,
Yeah.
but if John could do the wording, so it's the same. It's very important what he just stated. Very important, pre-registered. It's not open and we're getting, Darlene is inundated with phone, please let me just continue. Because right now people, we have the list of who pre-registered. It's real important. So would it be okay, Jerry,
Yeah.
John?
Yeah, thank you, Deb.
Sally, if you could please wait for John to reach out with the right wording.
Because I was gonna ask that question. You say the robocall only went out to those of us that filled out the form.
Pre-registered.
Pre-registered. If somebody walks in that didn't pre-register, are they gonna be turned away?
John has all that information.
Or what?
Well, these are questions that we need to take up on Sunday. We don't know too much more except until we talk to the nurse.
Did anybody sign up that wasn't 55? Was that already checked before?
Everything is, believe me, you have to have identification. It's all, let's,
County said they.
we need to talk, you know what, we're going way too far out. There's questions and stuff, we can't answer a lot of things because the nurse is gonna explain more to us on Sunday. So let's just take one step at a time. You need the people that pre-registered and that are 65 and older are the ones.
Well, and I agree with Debbie, you know, we need to have the correct.
It has to be
Right.
uniformity right now.
Yeah.
So I will stop by or will we be ready after so we can
After
do
lunch.
the right thing and.
Right.
Because there's been a lot of
Okay,
discussion.
Ellie, we totally got it. We totally got,
Okay, I'll talk to John again.
yeah, you talk to him. Yeah,
Because I called up when I got my vaccine somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
They did ask pre-registered.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah, I
Ally.
said,
thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer,
I just
Thank you,
posted
John.
on your sites exactly what the sign says.
yeah,
That I didn't put any other.
Okay.
on
Connie,
Excuse me, I just have a couple questions. What vaccine is it? It's a Moderna. So it requires two. Will a second appointment be made
they
then?
usually put the date on it. Again, you're asking questions we can't answer until Sunday when we find out exactly what's going on. We're trying to tell you what we know, and other people are throwing things in there. And if we would have known everything that you're asking, we would have told you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We were just notified yesterday afternoon.
No, and they told us they'll be here on Sunday. So I can show up and get paid time and a half. John?
Gary, you just made a good point. Everything that I just said is everything we know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is, I don't wanna get in there trying to speculate and do this and this, so. All right, Ann, you're gonna.
Are we on to unfinished now?
No, we're going to buy ourselves.
That's under unfinished.
Wait a minute,
Okay.
can I speak?
Yeah, Karen?
I just realized if they're coming back in 4 weeks.
We understand that with the election day, everything's been looked at. I appreciate you stepping up there and saying that, but that's already been looked into.
Okay.
Yeah,
Am I up?
yeah.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we open up the auditorium for our annual meeting, masks required, and open it up to all residents that are wanting to come to the meeting.
I'll second that.
My motion, may I make comments?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if people are, keeping up with it. As of the beginning of the week, cases are down overall in the United States, 73%. There are 15 states that no longer require masks. Florida is one of them. Pasco County, I can't get a current update other than the fact that They are opening up their public transportation buses now. It used to be mask required and social distancing. Now they're only requiring masks. They don't have to social distance. I have no idea how many seats are in one of those buses, but I'm sure there's at least 50. So, so the county has released some better news for us that, you know, we're not quite as locked down as we were before.
So,
Okay, Pasco County, as of yesterday, I don't know, I think the battery's died. No. Pasco County, as of yesterday, nothing has changed. And if you go to Florida Department of Health, all persons in Florida are encouraged to avoid congregating in groups larger than 10. Florida's phase 3, individuals over 65 or with underlying medical conditions can resume public interactions, but should practice social distancing. And in Pasco County, they do not want any groups larger than 50, and everyone must wear masks in public. We as board members have a liability coverage that we pay for in our insurance. If we knowingly disobey the Pasco County regulations, we might not be covered by this if somebody decides to sue. Not only are we opening ourselves up for that, we are also opening up the Tosca to that. And on a site that is done by National Geographic of COVID all through the nation, as of March 3rd, in 2 weeks, every 2 weeks as of March 3rd, there's in Pasco County, there would be one case of COVID for every 339 people. And there would be one death for every 13,437. Yes, the number of cases has gone down greatly. I know Ann has quoted 73%, which is true. That's 73% from the highest to where it is now. But where it is now, the number of daily cases is about where it was in October. It is also the 7-day average of positivity that is published in Florida for Pasco County is still over 5%. It was at 6.83%. And if you remember, they were always talking the best thing is under 5. We realized that if in this auditorium, we can put 50 people with the board and staff for the meeting with it socially distanced. And we had a plan where it would be a lottery to get the people in. We're not saying not have people, but we wanted to limit the number of people. And that's all.
all I want to say is, I have no problem about wearing a mask in the building. I have a problem wearing a mask and sitting 6 feet apart from somebody. And I think as long as they're wearing the mask and you're inside the auditorium, you can sit together. That's my personal feeling. I'm not running any stats or keeping numbers or whatever. I'm just saying it makes no sense when you can go to the same people that you talk about, restaurants and some of these clubs. You literally are in a restaurant and like you're eating at tables and stuff, and people walking by you, and it's just, but my thing is, I'm talking here, is that as long as we're in this building here, I don't think we need to be wearing a mask at six feet apart. I know we have on the door, you must wear a mask or behind the screen or whatever, but that's my feeling on that. Yeah.
Yes, I'd also like to comment that the annual meeting is not a regular board meeting. We come in here, the meeting is opened at 9 o'clock by the president. We say the Pledge of Allegiance, we have our moment of silence. The locks are taken off the box, the ballot box. The ballot box is then moved into another room for counting, and then the meeting is adjourned until 3 o'clock that afternoon. People aren't in here sitting for an hour and 2 hours. At 3 o'clock, the meeting reconvenes, the president reopens the meeting, the totals are given, the new members are sworn in, the old members leave, and there's no business that's conducted. Again, it's very short. So it's, again, we're not sitting in here for hours.
Yeah,
And the seats will go 15 feet, so the 6-foot thing is, to me, it's just,
and just to correct her on one thing, she's probably not aware of it yet, but we're gonna adjourn to 2 o'clock that day.
2 o'clock.
But again, it's a short meeting. I'm just saying that we're in here. That's my feeling on it, so.
I agree with personal freedom. I believe we all have our right to choose what we're doing. And our comfort zone, but we all have a right to choose. I might go to a restaurant, or wear masks some places, not others. But my responsibility as a board member is to protect as best I can Timber Oaks, the TSCA, the organization, by following all the laws of TSCA, and to protect as best I can the residents. I don't like the idea that we can't do things. I don't like the idea that we haven't had dances. I don't like the idea that board meetings had been closed or even open the way they are. But that's not I don't like it. I know Jerry doesn't. I don't think anyone on the board likes it. But the safety of our organization, the safety of our building, the safety of our people is what is the board's responsibility. And my responsibility tells me I cannot open it to more than 50 people socially distant with masks.
Yeah.
And I feel personally that I'm not responsible for other people's health, just like they're not responsible for mine. I raised my children and I was responsible for them up to 18 years old. We're all adults in here, and anybody can put a lawsuit out there. It doesn't mean they're gonna win the lawsuit. And how could you prove that you got COVID from coming to a 15-minute meeting? You don't know if that person picked it up the day before or the day after. There has to be proof there.
But again, this can go on back and forth, back and forth.
And I'm done.
Like I said, my thing is.
Yeah, Jerry, but I would like to, we have 21, 23, less than 25 people out there. How many of you feel that it should be open to the residents?
Talking about the meeting that's coming up.
Yeah, the annual meeting, how many out there feel as a resident you have the right to attend the meeting without it being a lottery?
Hey, just wearing your mask.
I don't know if they know.
But anyhow, but again, with the motions on the floor, we just need to take a vote. Like I said, my feeling is wearing a mask and the 6 feet is doing double. So, but that's my opinion. And I do worry about the safety of people. So, kills me to say it, but I do care about you people. Yep.
Can I request that it be a roll call vote and that it be on the record as to who voted for what?
And the motion is just to open annual meeting to residents.
You're wearing masks only. Not limited to 50. I mean, it's just wearing so you don't have to social distance. Just allow people to come in wearing masks. It's not that important, especially that meeting. But that's It's a short meeting.
People are gonna be working that day.
No, we aren't.
It's just,
How about
just
candidates?
it wouldn't take 5 seconds.
That's going to be live streamed, Ally. That was already mentioned by Karen.
Yep. Okay, Dad, you want to take the roll?
Yes, sir. Okay, I have Jennifer Smiley,
No.
Ann Ozinger,
Yes.
Susan Muniak,
No,
Beverly Hasty,
Yes.
Larry Algren,
I'll say yes.
Jerry Beers.
Yes.
Motion passed.
So that roll call will be recorded so that if,
Whenever there is a roll call, it is recorded in the minutes of who voted yes and who voted no.
thank you. I just want to protect us from the liability. Directors and officers.
So it looks like the meeting, the annual meeting, you can show up, wear masks, and you can sit next to each other. Well, it's whatever.
The meeting is so short.
I know, that's what I'm just saying, it's just a short in and
You have to
out.
set up chairs.
It's done, so let's, okay, let's move on to the next item, the pool proposal. John, you want to?
Yeah, Jerry, the pool contractor scheduled it.
Hey, hey, please, if you want to have a meeting, you can go outside the door. But we got one meeting going on up here, and guess what? I'm running. So I'll do the talking unless I say you guys can talk. Thank you. Go ahead, John.
The pool contractor scheduled to start work Monday morning on the paver project, and we received an add-on proposal to remove some of the planter boxes out there and install pavers in those locations. It's really a two-phase proposal, one part to replace the two planter boxes by the bathhouse, and then the second phase is to replace the larger planter against the clubhouse.
So you want to handle it?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposal to replace the two planters closest to the showers, a total of 120 square feet, and that would cost $1,790.
And it's second by Ann.
Yes.
Any comments from the board? Any comments from the residents?
I kind of heard this as a rumor, and I see no reason that we should add on to the money being spent to remove those planter boxes. The ones by the pool were always nice, kept well. We just put new stones in there. The two that are at the other end of the pool near the deep end look very nice with the two palms in them.
We're keeping those.
You're keeping those?
Yeah, the only two right now they're talking about is by the bathroom, where the shower is.
Okay, so we're adding $1,000 to remove those, and I don't see a reason.
And the papers go down.
Right, I don't see a reason why we should do that. And you're talking about plants along the clubhouse? Where are you talking?
No, we're just
No.
talking right by the
I know
shower.
the two in the bathhouse, but I
Yeah,
thought you
one
said
of
also
these-
planters along the clubhouse wall?
The motion,
No,
Just
the
the
only
two by
ones
the-
we're talking about is on each side of the shower. Against that,
Right.
the back
The
wall.
lollipop trees were.
Right, I don't see a reason to add on, and I always thought it was nice to have plants here and there in the pool area, so.
Ally, please, we got one meeting. You want to talk, use the mic, please. Thank you.
I just have one yes or no question because I heard a rumor and I want to make sure that it's right. Did we actually spend $1,500 on one plant that was
No.
stolen?
No,
That's a rumor.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other, Ann?
Yes, I forgot, got up and, I guess it was LeMay. I was told, LeMay, that the roots in those two planters are so thick and so deep that nothing can be planted back in there. So there's money in the budget to continue the pavers all the way up. And at a later date, we might consider getting a couple big pots with, with a plant or a little palm or something in there. so that it's still aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Anybody else have any comments? The motion been made to spend $1,790 to have those removed and replaced with pavers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And the other one, Sue?
I'm not making a motion about it.
No. Move on to the next is the flooring.
Jerry, we have two proposals to replace the library flooring. One is from a local contractor who is suggesting that we do an overlay in the amount of, this is labor only, the price of materials would be in addition to. Labor only from this local flooring who advertises in the Timber Times to do an overlay floor would be $1,490. And then we have an estimate from the another contractor who was recommended by the location where we're buying the material to remove the existing floor and then install the product at $3,217.
And
I have a question. How many layers of flooring is already on the library floor?
Just one.
Just the one. So, okay.
make a motion.
Yes, I make a motion that we go with the installation made easy in the amount of $3,217.92. That would involve taking up the old warp floor and seeing if there's any damage underneath it.
Have a second by Bill. Any comments, Sue?
I have a question. Did you take up the plastic?
We did not do that yet today. Mark should probably run and check it now, right?
The other, the K&M, which for some reason I don't have in my packet.
It was
emailed afterwards. It was emailed after and I didn't print it. Would go over the current floor. And to see if there was any moisture, they taped down plastic over the one spot in the thing, and they're going to pull up the plastic and see if there's any moisture. Because the person who's in the Timber Times is KB or something like that. KF. He was talking with us. Okay, you have it. I didn't print mine out from the. He's been in business in Florida for 38 years. I was here when he was here. And he said if there was any moisture coming up, you would see it on the plastic if you put the plastic down. And he felt that the underlay, the going over was perfectly fine, that there wouldn't be a problem that there wouldn't be any problem. He said to see if there's moisture, put the plastic down, leave it sit, and it should come up. If there was any moisture, you'd see it. And if there were moisture in the library, the books would all be musty.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying if I take water and put it into a latex or plastic glove and dump the water out, there'll still be moisture in there. If I lay another piece of plastic on top of that glove, that it's going to show that there's no moisture inside that glove. That doesn't make sense to me. I spoke with a professional licensed, my son-in-law is an environmental engineer, okay? He also has certification just in, molds, air quality, asbestos. He said laminate will hold in moisture. And this particular one who has the less amount to spend that wants to put a flooring over a warped floor, I asked him if he was going to remove the floor. He said no. I said, could you take up one board just to see what's underneath it? He said it wasn't necessary. Well, I believe it is, because he said, and you don't want to do that, he says, because you might find a problem. Well, that's the whole idea of pulling it up to see if there is a problem. I feel we don't need to put a Band-Aid on something, we need to do it and do it right. The old floor should come up and the new flooring put down. Because we don't know, in 2 years from now, there's no guarantee that where that warping is, the new floor won't warp.
Beth?
Okay, I want to see, if we're going to do something, we should do it right, which means to take up that flooring. I talked to my brother-in-law who lives in Timber Oaks, who is a professional flooring guy. He's not licensed here in Florida yet, but he is licensed in Maine. And he said that if we don't take up the warped floor, it could cause more problems in the long run. So I feel that if we're gonna spend money, we should do it right.
John, you had Jane?
So we passed our, moisture test. There's no moisture according to our test. That test, however, that has no bearing on either one of these proposals. If we have a moisture, that probably means we choose another product. It wouldn't affect whether we were tearing out the existing floor.
And
That test that you just did is showing that there's no moisture on top of the floor. It is not showing that there's no moisture underneath that laminate.
anybody else on the board got any other comments? My only feeling on it, if we do it, we should do it right. And the floor is warped for a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but if it was in my house, and I'm very particular, I like things done right. And that's how I am. Of course, I'd have to spend the money, but I would make sure it was done right. Anybody else? Dale?
Oh, if there's one thing that most of the residents in here have been complaining about since I moved in, is the money that gets spent, and yet nothing ever really looks nice. We're constantly complaining about things, we get them fixed, and then before long, people are complaining about them again. I was going to say the same thing you said, Jerry. We know there was a leak under there at one time, right?
It was a flood.
There was a flood.
There was a flood.
It was when the flood.
Right, exactly. So the floor that's there now is warped, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the same-
Would any of you buy a brand new home and go in and know that there was a leak, know that there's a warped floor and put a new floor over it? I'm willing to bet not one of you up there would do that. Common sense. If the floor was warped, get the old shit shucks, whatever out of there and put down a new floor. Spend money where it should be spent.
And Dale,
Yes.
to your comment on the money being spent to make this place, I think Timber Oaks looks lovely. And that's my opinion, and I think the money was well spent on doing, maybe some people don't like the colors or whatever. I wasn't a big fan of the furniture, I wasn't a big fan, but I don't think the boards, past or present, have wasted money just to make someplace look ugly. So that's my opinion.
That's good, Jerry.
So you tell all your peeps that,
Yeah, you'll hear a lot of it, or you read a lot of it.
so the motion's on the floor has been made and second to make it right. To have it, yeah, John?
Jerry, if we were going to remove the existing floor and lay down the new floor as suggested, I would suggest that we get that proposal from the local contractor.
So we'll put this on hold until. I thought it was matched apples to apples, so now you're saying it was matched apple to oranges?
This is
I mean,
No, he wants to get the proposal from the.
The other guy.
oh, the other guy was never
So it
asked.
would be apples and apples.
Jerry, just to explain, we only have 2 written proposals. We've talked to a lot of contractors. Every contractor that came in said, John, I can give you a price to remove that floor. If it were my floor, I wouldn't do that. I will give you a price to overlay. If you want to pay me to tear up, I will gladly do that for you at a price.
Well,
So
we
this
need to
contractor told us the same thing.
Yeah,
It's, I'm sorry, but my opinion is the guy that didn't want to remove the flooring was not as professional. Because any professional flooring person should have known that that floor needs to come on.
so,
When we were there, he said, if you want me to take this floor up, if you feel that I can give you a proposal to do that. That he's worked, he's had a good amount of experience, he has a good rating with the Better Business Bureau, and he's on Angie's list. I'm just saying, let's wait and get the proposal from him for that too. We know what flooring we're going to use. Let's wait and get that, and we can have it for the next meeting.
so you're saying table it?
Table it and see which one is better, because if one is 3,200, maybe.
Well, Ann has the proposal on the floor, I mean, the motion on the floor, so if she wishes to table it, she has to.
I'd just like to make him, I don't know if people are aware of the Better Business Bureau. Do you know that Disney is not on the Better Business Bureau? This is something that you pay to be a member of. Just because you're on the Better Business Bureau, you've paid to be on it, doesn't mean that you're exceptional or that you do a great job.
But they rate you whether or not you pay.
According to what people's responses are, whether good or bad experiences. But because, this other guy may not be on the Better Business Bureau, but it doesn't mean that he's not good. I'm just saying, there's.
Okay, let's just raise your hand, get knowledge. If you want to speak, Jennifer, go ahead. Couldn't hear you. I don't know what.
Thank you, Jerry, no.
Okay. Anybody else? So, Ann, are you want to table it, or you want to stay on your motion?
I would like to stay on my motion. Personally, I didn't care for the guy that didn't want to take up the floor. I felt he was cocky when I said
Okay.
but when I said that my son and I had spoken with an environmental engineer, he said, well, I'm one too.
So the motion's on the floor. And that is with $3,217.92. Is that what?
Yes.
To have them take it up and lay the new floor down. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah. Not that I'm opposed to this, but I'd like to have two comparisons.
You have to do a roll call because I have no idea who said.
Can I get something clear first? So are we saying that this 3,200 pulls up the old floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, John.
Jerry, maybe I can help for a little bit. The second contractor, it's not that we're trying to get a better price, because I would anticipate his price would come in very close to this price. As everyone that we talked to, they were all in the same price range. What my point is that I would rather go with a local, highly recommended contractor in our neighborhood versus the national company where you don't even call this contractor back if you have a problem. You have to go through the toll-free national service, and I would prefer the local guy over that. That's my point. We're going to spend just as much money.
Do a roll call.
Yes. Jennifer Smiley?
No.
Ann Ozinger?
Yes.
Susan Muniak?
No.
Beverly Hasty?
No.
Larry Holgren?
Yes.
Jerry Beers?
Yes. So it didn't go anywhere. So it's tabled. Yeah.
Could this please be tabled until the next meeting? And not just table. When you table something, it actually, according to Robert's rules, kills the motion. Kills the project.
I'll move that we postpone this till the next meeting.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
John, your door.
So we've talked to a few contractors. There's very limited vendors that would perform the door replacement that we have in the maintenance building. We originally had gotten a verbal from a local guy that we were very excited about, but he's just been too busy to provide us with a proposal. So we haven't given up on him, but in the meantime, we've gotten a second proposal that we believe is much higher than what he would come in with if he ever came in with it. So we've got a proposal. The first door that really has to be done is the double entry to the Live Oak storage area. That amount is $4,390. And then we have additional pricing for additional doors that they're not as urgent as this initial door is, but down the road, they will have to be done.
I just have a question. So you're proposing just 2 exterior doors at this time?
The one entryway that's a double door.
Right. Just one? Yeah. Okay.
So,
I'll make the motion that we go with DH Pace Door Services Group to replace the new wood shop entry, its exterior double doors. That's the ones, right? The first one?
Yes, yes.
And for a total of $4,390
second.
to come out of reserves, and I'm not sure which account number it is.
Second.
Any comments? And just so everybody knows, that's the door that basically goes into the Live Oaks storage area. And basically, you can go up and just shake the whole frame of the door and everything. It's very expensive. Any other comments from the board on that? Any comments from the residents? Since there's none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to new business. Fence proposal.
Jerry, we, directly in front of the clubhouse, if you're exiting the building to the right of the main entrance where the hedge was removed and we have exposed air conditioning units, we have a proposal to install a 4-foot concealment fence, similar to the same almond style fence that we previously installed. And I'm looking for the price, Jerry. We would also move those deck boxes up and conceal them behind the fence as well. So that proposal from the same vendor that we previously used, $1,450.
Jennifer?
I make a motion that we accept the fence proposal for the front for the amount of $1,450 with Keeler Landscaping, Inc.
Larry, second. Any other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next is the picnic bench. Huh? Yeah, you can take it.
I was asked by some residents to check into the picnic table that's in the Oaks Park, I believe is the name we call it. So we went down and looked at it, and it's a metal table that needs in bad shape. I mean, the actual table is in good shape, it just looks terrible. Needs to be power washed and, scraped with a steel brush and repainted, and then moved to a place where it's more level, and I think it'll be a good repair done.
Are you making a motion to have that done?
I'll make a motion
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Yes, is this gonna be done in-house? Maybe that needs to be
Yes.
on the motion.
That we tackle that in-house to have that picnic table in the Oaks Park be cleaned and repainted and leveled.
Anybody else gonna comment? I'm just wondering why this just wouldn't come under regular maintenance and why we would have to even bring this up. John?
Gary, the reason it came up is because on the day that it came up, it was already on our list. We were actually in the process of doing exactly what we're talking about, but our intent was to move it up. We don't think it's getting any use down there, so we were gonna move it up to the horseshoe court to try to promote use of the horseshoe court, and that kind of made the phone ring.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying this, I mean, you look at it, that's just standard. I mean, that's my opinion, maybe in Persian. Anybody else?
It's got a concrete thing on it, it's kind of hard to move.
Yeah, it's got a chain and a
It's a
concrete.
chain with a concrete block on it.
No, I'm talking about the repairing of it. You know, that should be standard maintenance. I mean, that's my thing.
And John said it was on the list for their general maintenance.
Yeah. Dale?
Okay, I'm just making sure again that I've got the story right, because there's been a lot of talk on Facebook. Is Oaks Park the one down here where you just did away with the parking on Ponderosa and you?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I correct? Did you not just take out whatever kind of sidewalk or pavers or whatever we had?
Asphalt.
Okay, asphalt. People say you took that out and then you put down sod or something, and I have not been there, but you know on Facebook, they said it looks like hell now and you can trip over it and blah, blah, blah. Why would you take out a path to go down to a picnic table, but then spend money to redo the picnic table? I don't understand. Why is there even a picnic table there if you took away the walkway? Now people are gonna make a new walkway out of the sod that you put down, and this is not just me. This is what I've been hearing from everybody else. Am I correct? You did that. You did away with the walkway, you put sod down. Now people are supposed to walk on the new sod to get down to a picnic table that you now want to fix up nice.
Jennifer?
The pathway was asphalt. To replace that would have been extremely expensive. You're all telling us that we spend too much money on things. That was one of the options. And if it is moved about 5 feet to level ground, it's not going to make it the same pathway as the grass. But it hasn't been moved yet, Dale.
No, what are you saying? I misunderstood what
The
you
most,
were trying to say.
what Beverly proposed
Okay,
is to power wash the picnic table.
Right.
To take a wire brush to it and paint it and then move it to level ground. Right now it's kind of wanky.
Right.
If it's moved even the 5 feet that needs to be, it won't be a direct line where the pathway was.
Okay, so now how do the people get to the picnic table?
They walk.
Through the grass.
They do anyway.
Okay.
It's mowed. It's not like a field. It's.
Anybody else? Chris?
Chris Dabrowski. I used to live across from that park, and that picnic table area that it's in right now floods frequently.
Thank you, Chris. Anybody else? And
Yeah, thank you, Chris, and I think that should be a consideration when it's moved. Yes, I do too.
okay, there's a motion on the floor. What was the motion to do?
Clean that picnic table, move it to more level.
Yeah. So, level. Yes.
Do we need a motion since
I
that
know,
is
that's what I'm
what,
saying.
we don't need a motion since
We need
it's,
to withdraw the motion if you want.
I brought it up to the board because
Yeah.
in conversation from several residents that live around there, they would like to see that approved. That was why I brought it up. So I'll rescind the motion.
And we.
I'll rescind the second.
Okay. So, All
If we
right.
don't need a motion, it's just gonna be maintenance.
Hey, Ann, you're gonna handle the next one?
Yes, I asked that the estoppel fee be put on to the, agenda. Simply because we're not changing it right now. Back in 2017, that board signed a contract with RPM when we went to RPM, to allow them to charge $250 for the estoppel, which is the high end and the highest amount that the state will allow for an estoppel. I just wanted to be out there. I don't know if any of these board members will be running again next year, but for the new board members that get on, this will be coming up in, next year in 22 to be revisited. And, when somebody sells their house, they're the ones that are responsible for the estoppel. And just recently, even though there was no, nothing was expedited, which is another $100 fee. There were no past due assessments or a lien on the house, which then the management company can charge an additional $150. This person was charged over $300. I think it was $345, which should never have exceeded the $250. And when you, just to let people know out there, if you are selling your house, this is something you can negotiate in the sale of your house. The buyer and the seller, if you negotiate, could each pay half. But it doesn't take hours to get this information to grant an estoppel certificate. And I think going at the top of what the state allows is a little ridiculous, to charge somebody. So I just wanted out there for new board members that will be on that year when this contract comes due again, to think about how you want to handle it.
Again, that law went in effect by the state in 2017, and it stated up to $250. And if it was expedited work, it'd be up to another additional 100. And it seems that everybody's getting not the up to, but they're getting the 250. I would like to find out if there was a way to find out how many people, and I don't know if we can find out how many people have paid less than the 250. Because it seems everybody that's been contacting me has paid over the 250. And I know the one that Ann was talking about, and these people, it was in plenty of time for these, almost a month, so there should have been no extra work put into it. And so, I think this needs to be looked into, to finding why they keep going up to the price, and it seems they're adding it on. Again, Sue, I don't know if you have a way of finding out through them.
I know that their base fee is the maximum what the state allows. And when the state went up to the 250,
Yeah.
I believe just about every management company said, okay. And because it's the management company that do it. And
right.
It's
and
not,
I totally
not
understand.
We
No, I'm not saying that we are the board involved. What I think we need to, then they need to be questioned, that like, how many 250s are there, or why is it these many every time that they're getting? Do they get it in time or not in time, or they just feel comfortable, it's 250, we can charge it, who's going to question it, and move on. But people are now starting to question it. Yeah, John.
Jerry, it's a flat fee. Nobody will pay less than $250.
I'm not, right, but what I'm saying is this extra charges, everybody's getting hit with the extra charge. And what? This last one, we literally knew, because the office mentioned to me that such and such was done, and I'm going, oh shit, they got almost 3.5 weeks to have this put in. And next thing you know, they paid this high fee.
I've seen some, when he was looking right at me, I've seen where they've charged the extra $100 for, because it had to be done within less than, I don't know, it's how many weeks or whatever that they said. I've seen that on some, I don't see very many of these estoppels, only when there's been a question.
It's just that I think they, or somehow we should notify them that they're being watched and questioned why. I mean, it's just, I don't think it's being fair to the residents or anybody that automatic they're being charged just because they can charge it and not be questioned. And
Again, this didn't even, the $344 or the $345, whichever one it was, didn't even make sense because it wouldn't have added up to any extra charges. I'd be more concerned as to how many since 2017 have been billed at a higher fee that people just thought they owed and paid it. And again, to the new board, you know, anybody out there that will be on the board in 2022 next year, this is negotiable. You don't have to, you can negotiate RPM or whatever management company we're with to charge $150. If they want us as one of their accounts, I think they'll work with us.
anybody else? Dale?
I know some people get a bellyache when they see me getting up, but I like to understand things, and that's why I'm here. This fee that a lot of people have never even heard of before because they've never sold a home is actually a fee that when you sell a home, you pay this. Basically, is this for paperwork that's being done? What exactly is this money for? That's my first question.
Excuse me, Jennifer. You have to have, by state law, you have to have an estoppel, which is a certificate that shows that there's no lien or past assessment due on that house. To me, it's kind of like the title and search that a title company will do.
Yeah, but all of a sudden it's got this new name nobody's ever heard of. Okay, now, what?
I'm gonna stop you for a second.
Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna take a short little break.
Oh, okay.
Larry, I want to say something. You drank the same amount of water.
You're all muted. You're all muted.
I know, it's nothing.
And it wasn't next building. Now maybe they were. That's what. I know, I get it, that's what I'm saying. Because they had almost a month to do that. No, right, but we shouldn't have to pay because it's taking them long to do something, and then all of a sudden they have to get it done. And they're gonna charge us because they chose to do what we have. This one. Because I personally was there when I said, holy shit, they got all kinds It's also the rights of that. Not just to say. But that No, I didn't think that's what I'm saying. It's just let them swear. Why you focus? I know it's not. No, what did I say? Look. Yeah, I know. But the things you can. Because it all says the automatic. Mark, we need Debbie back. John. Let's start setting back up. Yeah, I know, Mark's checked them.
We've already done that. Yeah.
What?
I don't see her, but I don't talk about it.
Put your hand over the thing.
I just want to take out the window. Oh, there's a window there?
Yeah.
I think they should do that. Well, after that, but, I mean, okay, it's not a really attractive. And we're trying to put up the house, so I think the type of stuff. But afterwards, we're talking about
We'll find it.
Okay, it's not.
I call the meeting back to order, please. Dale, you want to finish up, please?
Okay, I'm still trying to understand this a little bit. So, in other words, Resource Management or management company is the company that we pay this money to to like print up a paper saying we have no fines, no liens, no nothing on our houses. Is that correct?
Yes.
Susan's like dying over there with the hand. So normally, okay, here in Timber Oaks, we should have a record of that already, don't we?
But again, Dale, there's a lot to this that
Legal.
it's legal for what they're doing. What I'm just saying is just draw attention to them. That, you know, hey, we don't like it, but so.
Dale, what happens is if somebody is selling a house,
Right.
they call it an estoppel. It's a sheet that lists any fees that are owed
Right.
to Timber Oaks or any other encumbrances on the property.
Okay.
The state requires an estoppel.
Okay.
RPM has to supply the estoppel. The estoppel gets charged to the seller. What Ann is bringing out is that the estoppel fee is very high. They are charging the maximum of what the state allows them to charge.
Okay, exactly.
And the problem is the state and what it's allowing them to charge. Now, whether we could negotiate with RPM or whatever, that is maybe, maybe not. But the real problem is the state requiring it. And I will tell you that we have found, even if there is a problem with the estoppel, that they did not do it right, we have no recourse to go back to them. They say that was the
So
estoppel.
I could sell my house, pay $250 for a paper, and then it could have something wrong with it, and I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
And you have to take that up with the state.
Okay.
Where you are mandated by the state.
Okay, it's getting worse instead of better, but before Ann even says anything, I would say if Timber Oaks is representing us and we pay Resource Management a whole lot of money to be our management company, we are selling houses in here, everybody knows, hand over fist. If they're charging all of us residents the maximum amount, they are making $2 on top of what we already pay them. And I would suggest that the board or the manager or somebody does go to them and try to say, hey, look, you know, people are selling their house and maybe buying another house in here, which we all know happens.
Dale, let me just talk because you're going on. What we're talking about, that's what we're talking about up here. So what you're repeating is what we're
You're talking about going to them and trying to get it lower.
I appreciate you repeating for us, but that's basically what we're saying, and we said it. You know.
Okay, so you're.
Yeah, but again, we want to let them know where we're not happy with the situation. And go ahead.
That's why I brought up that the agreement was made with the 2017 board with RPM to allow them to charge this amount. It expires in 2022. That's why I brought it up for any new board to try and negotiate a lower fee. And it's not just a matter of clicking on one website to see who might be delinquent or whatever. There's probably 12 more questions that the state requires information on. I think is how big is the garage, or there's other things that they have to research to fill out, which, you know, they could probably get from realtor.com, but still, it's not just if there's, you know, things.
But again, we can go back and forth in this, but we're going to bring it to their attention. You know, we can't solve it here. We're going to bring it back to their attention. But we're mandated by the state that they can do it. What we're going to start questioning them is, why does it have to be the max all the time? And why does it have to be the extra charge? All right? So, okay, thank you. Again, as much as I hate to say that, I just want to take a short recess for 5 minutes to meet with the board and Karen real quick. Can we see you, please? No.
shop. So somehow we have to look at on how to do this one way or the other. Whether we can move I know we can move the second shop to the car road or but I'm not right, but I just want to make sure that you're but I don't know, again, but I just, you know, there's a sense that we may, yes. Well, I was gonna have John to check. Yeah, but let's just check before the long thing. But I just wanted everybody to be aware of the information. Yeah, okay. Yeah, as soon as we find out what we're going to do. But let's wait till Sunday to see exactly how much room she's given. You know, because again, maybe we'll reverse everything, but that side, keep this side open. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we can switch to the building. Okay, but let's just wait for something. Let's resume the meeting tomorrow. Are we on? Let's resume the meeting. And I apologize for that, but we just got some information that was running conflict with the election and the shots for the second shots. And we have to work out details. And again, we can't decide or do nothing until we talk with the nurse on Sunday. But again, that's what we basically was discussing. We didn't vote to spend $1 million to build me a house for my going away present or buy me my new pickup truck that I would like to have. But we didn't vote on that. So,
I thought it was Mercedes.
But anyhow, let's get back to the meeting and paint samples is the next thing on the thing. Jennifer?
I'd like to make a motion that after Tuesday, we remove the paint samples from the front window and have residents come in to peruse the different paint samples.
Second.
Okay. Any comments on that? And basically, one of the reasons they want to move them is because we're trying to make the building, the building is very beautiful, it's opened up, and to get the paint things off the windows. I know a lot of people like them on the windows, and but it's not right,
it just takes away from the parents. Yeah, Jennifer?
Jerry, I believe the staff did that during the height of the COVID thing.
Right.
When everything was inaccessible and it was for the benefit of the residents. I think now they can come in and a little bit easier or submit to the art committee. And if it's something that they can work with, they can discuss it with the art committee.
Yeah. All right, and anybody else have any comments? Since there's none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, next is the blood drive. John?
Jerry, we have a request from One Blood to conduct a blood drive in their bus. Everyone's seen their bus on our property in the parking area.
So
I'd like to make a motion that we allow One Blood to park the blood donation van in one of our parking lots for a community blood drive.
and it's second by Ann. Let's just hope we don't have any other conflicts when they pick the date.
I'll do it on the 8th, 9th, or
Right, the elections.
April 5th and 6th.
So, and I personally don't think that, and if we do it, I think we should do it on the tennis court side, because then if they decide to do it on a Tuesday and they do it on this side over here, we'd have interference. So I think the blood drive should be done on the tennis court side. I don't know if that's east or west or,
Whatever.
it's east, I think, but I don't know my north-south. All I know is never eat shredded wheats. But anyhow, we got
Oh,
that.
that's good. We vote on that? Or
Yeah, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes got it. The next one is the collection.
That's what we discussed.
Are you gonna handle that, Sue?
Hold on a second, I brought it here. Nope. I was gonna go. I look at the possibility, that we send to foreclosure those counts that are at the attorney, recommended by the attorney to go to foreclosure.
I would list for the record the addresses so that we make sure we're all on the same wavelength.
Okay, the ones that, subject to the attorney refusing to do,
Right.
subject to the attorney saying other. It would be 8724 Woodcrest, 11035 Pepper Tree Lane, 11133 Water Oak Drive, 11207 Salt Tree Drive, 8131 Braddock Circle Number 2, 10934 Water Oak Drive, 10541 Salamanca Drive, 11039 Pepper Tree Lane, 8708 Woodmont Lane, and 8115?
Yeah.
8115 Merrimack.
Yeah, John?
Are we also looking, or going to add to the list, because I left in the middle of this conversation, 10516 Tapestry and 10514 Calico?
Because they did not recommend, those were put in by our office, but they are either already in process from the bank.
Yeah. Is it second one? Jennifer.
Second.
All right, any questions from the board? John?
Can we confirm the list? I just want to make sure that so it's the list from the email that you're reading from, right? And the only one we're adding to that list is the 8115 Merrimack?
Right.
Okay.
the 9 that were printed out, and then, so it makes it total 10.
But we're subtracting 11133 Water Oak Drive, or we're?
No, we're gonna let it, we're gonna see what, as long as the attorney approves that we.
And
John, we're subtracting 10516 Tapestry. The attorney looked that one up and the bank is foreclosing on that one. And also the also the 10514 Calico. Yeah.
now let me explain some stuff to the people, and I'll try and do it. If we foreclose, and believe me, this board, and I don't think Tim Rose wants to take anybody's property, but if we force the foreclosure to retrieve our money back, and some of this money is like $1,000 or $2,000 plus attorney fees, we're guaranteed to get our money back from these residents. And it also forces them, nobody's going to give up their property for $1,000. And it becomes like a bidding war out there. But if the bank was to foreclose first on these people, then the bank gets their money and we're out of the thing. So any money that we're owed out there, we're out of it. And again, there's something about 5 years. We can't carry assessments past 5 years. I guess we lose out on those. So that money that is owed to us would be, we wouldn't get back. So and the way the attorney says, most of the cases, when you start saying you're foreclosing, the people start turning around and paying the money. Because, yes,
I'd like to add to the motion at $750 per.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We have to upfront 700. Jennifer, do you want to second that?
Yes, Jerry, I'll second that.
Yeah, we have to upfront $750 per house for expenses. That money will come back to us. So if they owe us $2,000, now they owe us $2,750, but that's used for expenses. Plus they're owed their attorney fees, which will be billed all at the same time. And so, and one of the ones we asked a question, which will be asked back to us, is if we do go on that property and hire somebody to go in and maintain that property, so that we don't get the rats and all that stuff. Like Merrimack, for example, is a zoo over there. And if we can recover our money back to us, it's not lost money. So these are little things that we have to work out. And I think I covered everything, that's in there. But this is the only way, believe me, we don't want to foreclose, but this is the only way that we can get Tim Rhodes can get the money back, what's due to them. Some of these people haven't paid dues and everything else, and you're paying, and the attorney, he felt that we would be getting it, so.
Yeah, I just want to add, one of these properties was, it was one we took off, but it was over $9,000 that they owed us.
Anybody else? Okay, since there's no other comments, everybody in favor of the foreclosure is say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. That was easy and quick. Now we have correspondence.
This is the one.
Is there a Marshall White? You wanted to come up and said you wanted to speak on your. No, go to the mic, please. And please identify yourself. You have to speak into the mic. We can barely hear you.
Wife,
Yeah,
is it on?
okay.
Okay.
And what do you have to say?
Well, I have been issued fines for $3,000, and I wanted to see if there was any way here.
Oh my gosh. You can turn that mic upward if you want.
Okay, now can you hear me?
No, there.
Get it really hot. Sorry. Now, name is Marcia White. I have a property, 8101 Merrimack.
She has property at 8101 Merrimack Drive.
And I've been assessed $3,000 in fines, and I wanted to see if there was consideration, considering that I did not receive the letter. It was dated the 2nd of December, and the fine started the next day, and I hadn't received it yet. The situation has been rendered. I talked to John about it. He came over and checked. It was finished on the 15th. It took me approximately 3 or 4 days to find someone to take care of the issues that were stated. So, that was it.
Well, I think, Jennifer, you can speak.
Our record shows 16 letters were sent, and you received none of the 16?
No, I did receive them, and I didn't really want to go into it, but I've had situations dealing with cancer and other things with my daughter, which has totally consumed my time, and I was also paying for the last 3 years. I was paying a company that I thought was that the property was being taken care of. I ended up firing that company, hired somebody else when I got to receive 1 or 2 of the letters. And they didn't show up. Apparently they did take care of it for a while. Ended up firing them, and now I have somebody responsible that's doing a lot of the neighborhood cleanup and lawn.
Well, let me just, you have 4 violations I can see here. The first notice was sent March 10th in 2020.
Right.
And there was no response. And the second notice was sent on April 1st of 2020, and no response.
Correct.
And then the third one was sent on, the final notice was August 20th, and no response. And now you did respond on December 17th.
No.
And that was when the finding thing went out, if I'm reading this stuff right.
No.
The finding notice was issued on October 29th, and she called on December 17th.
Yeah, that's what I said, she called on December.
The only letter I received was the December 2nd letter. It was sent out on the 2nd, and it said the fines would start on the 3rd.
John?
I think the initial contact with that this homeowner had with me was probably somewhere around December 5th, a couple of days after she received the final fine notice. So around that date, around December 5th, I met her on her property, explained some of the things that needed to be done, that she was already in the process of, some of the things that needed some finishing touches. So at that time, and then I think around December 12th, we stopped the filing process. So about a week later, she was able to finish everything that needed to be done.
It took me about 4 days, 3 to 4 days to find someone, to take care of the problem.
Well,
I had started some of the work myself, but I knew that there was a lot.
Well, what scares me more is you're saying that you were never notified on all these other ones. That you never received any first, second, or the final notice.
This is
the only notice that I received. Now, I received other letters.
Other letters,
Pictures showing,
right, and that's what.
I called the lawn service and they said that it was being taken care of. I was busy with the other situation. And then honestly, I didn't even open, there were 3 letters that I didn't even open in the beginning of last year. So.
Oh, so then you did receive the notices.
I only.
Well, you said you got the notices, you just chose not to open.
It's not that I chose.
So what, if I'm getting this right, Ms. White, you received letters that you either didn't open or because your mailbox was gone, you didn't get. The ones that you did get, that you did open, you knew there was problems, you called someone to fix it, but they didn't fix it, and you never checked to see if they fixed it.
Correct.
I
don't live at the property.
Oh, no, but you're responsible for the property.
Yeah.
You're responsible for the maintenance, just like any the rest of us are responsible for the thing. And we did stop the fine when you were in progress of completing it. We didn't wait until you finished everything. Once we saw that you had started and the manager went and said, yep, I can see this is going to be, we stopped the fining at that point. Technically, we could have continued until you said it was complete, but we did stop it.
So what date was it?
Tom, do you?
I think we stopped the fines on December 17th, and I think absolute correction of the identified violations was probably within days of that date. And just for clarification, because I've talked to Ms. White several times, I don't think she's disputing receiving the violation letters.
No.
I think she's saying that after the violation letters were finished, the letters making her aware of a fine committee meeting, that's the notice that she was saying that she didn't receive.
Right.
Those are mailed certified, aren't they?
Yes.
Did we ever get those letters back?
John, did those letters come back, or did we get a copy of them saying?
Debbie probably has that information.
No, there was no, the letter did not come back.
Somebody got it. Signed?
No, right now, the post office is not requiring that because of COVID. But we do have that, we sent it out through the post office to both addresses, the one in Tarpon as well as the address here in Tarpon Springs. Tarpon Springs in here on Merrimack.
Yeah, I never received it.
Yeah, and we have the ones in October too, from last year that came, you didn't take either, return to sender. You didn't sign for those.
But I didn't sign.
No, because they didn't require it at that time. But you did receive the one stating that you are fined. That was certified.
Yeah, I did receive this one.
What are we trying to do?
Oh. I know, that's what I'm just saying, it's just. Again, I guess we have to take a vote on one,
I can also, provide information about, proof that I was paying someone if that's needed.
No, it's your responsibility.
It still comes down to, it's your property, it's your responsibility. And that's what it comes down to, Yep.
I strongly suggest this way, that had you been paying somebody to maintain your property and they didn't, that they should reimburse you for the money that you are fined. I would go after them.
At this time, I don't think there's nothing that we could be able to do for you.
I appreciate you coming up here, and I'm sorry that we couldn't help you.
Thank you.
Next is,
Monica.
yeah. So you want to know that?
No, this is the one on Monica.
Yeah.
That each time somebody is missing a payment, a letter goes out from Resource saying that you missed your payment, you need to mail back. I believe that Darlene went over with this person the actual that she went over with them their account, and I don't have their account right here, but and there was a late fee incurred,
Because they did miss.
because they did miss and it came in right, and he's saying they didn't mail anything to him. They got, I don't know what the coupons look like now that they got. The best suggestion is to do ACH, and then you'll never miss a payment. If you have ACH, you don't miss a payment.
So there's nothing we can do on that.
No.
Now we move on to, we got this other thing here that we were gonna discuss. This one, the letter here. Yeah. So the meeting's over, so we don't need to. All right. Any final words? Final words, Jennifer?
Thanks everyone for coming. I hope you understand why some decisions are made that you may not agree with, but we thank you for all for coming.
Bev?
Thank you all for coming. It's good to see some faces out there. Please be careful, and if you're coming for a shot, be patient. Thank you.
Sue?
Thank you all for coming, and please be safe. And if you are going to get a shot, as Deb said, please be patient with us. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
Thank you again for those in person and online that are listening to the board meetings. And I want to, just wish all the 6 people that are running for the board good luck. And I'll be off soon.
Larry?
Just thank everybody for coming. Then try to stay healthy and safe.
And it's my turn to run my mouth. Oh, Jennifer?
I forgot. For everyone that didn't know, last Sunday was Mark Klein's birthday. Happy belated. He's joined the Big 60 group. And Wednesday was our manager's birthday. He's still a youngin', so happy
So
belated
you're
birthday,
asking us to
John.
sing happy birthday?
And Jerry's birthday is coming up at our next meeting on the 17th.
Yes,
And Sue's is Tuesday.
and Jennifer's wearing the dress to celebrate my birthday.
Nice to celebrate my name.
But again, I just want to say thank you guys for coming out. And again, as you can see, the board didn't agree upon everything. But that's what you're put up here for, whatever decision that you think is right, and hope everything works out right. So again, I'm sorry we don't have a lot of information on that shot thing, exactly what's going to go on. But as soon as we're able to do things, just be patient. The office staff is going berserk. And Debbie said she does not want gray hair.
We're
So, but, John, we don't care if he goes bald, you know. But anyhow, again, I want to thank everybody for online and being here. And, Karen, I wish you the best of luck in here, in that election thing going on, and just be patient with us. Thank you. A motion to adjourn, please. Okay, is this in a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Now it's open forum. Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, well, you make it hard for me, Jerry. And you know, I care about all of you personally, but I was first shocked and now really feel disappointed in the vote, for those of you that voted to go against the CDC guidelines and the Pasco County rules for COVID. And also the managers. I mean, I thought that whatever the guidelines would be, the 50 people or less, I would go along with. The masks and the 6 feet, I agree with. And you could say, well, I could stay home, but I don't think you guys want me to stay home. And I have a committee. And my counters, I've assured them that we were going to follow the CDC guidelines. So I know you voted on it, but I really would like you to think about it, reconsider that decision. You know, we're still going to do our jobs, but I would like to say that we're doing them within the guidelines, as we have all this time. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
But thank you, and like I said, it's not personal, it's just about that.
Right, I mean, we all have our own opinions and stuff like that. Again, thank you, and thank your committee and your group.
Jerry, but it's not an opinion, it's like going along with the guidelines.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, we're going along with the guidelines by having people wear the mask. And it's, you know, if they weren't wearing a mask, but again, I mean, that's my belief, and that's the way I understand it. And unless I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and I don't mean to be wrong.
Well, and I know by April, or whenever we can have it, like, you know, guidelines may change, but at this point, the guidelines are, you know, 50 or less.
And again, keep in mind, at any given time that we hear a big rash, a big thing, we can change our mind. It's not, nothing's ever locked in stone.
Okay, just
Except me paying taxes.
Can I say something?
Yep.
Karen, keep in mind too, that there'll be over 700 residents in here who will have had their second vaccine by that date. And also, well, if they're getting it on Monday and Tuesday, they'll have it before, you know, well, because we have to decide on the meeting date now, but also your committee can be in the rooms that they're assigned to. They don't have to be in the auditorium. And you, actually, we could even put a separate table on the stage in the middle for you if you would feel more comfortable.
I don't want to be up there.
Well, then we could put it up front. We could put it up front for you next to the ballot box. If if you personally feel safer that way. We certainly appreciate the hard work you put into this, and we want to accommodate you as well.
Yeah,
so.
and you know, it's safety for all of the people coming. I mean, you can say, well, we can stay home, but we don't want that. We'd like to have a safe environment.
Right, but you see how many usually come to a meeting anyway.
Well, our annual meeting, of course, we won't have, make sure they know we won't have food.
Well, exactly, that's a good point.
So, okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
In answer to Karen, you know, the usual letter goes out when it comes to the election.
Yeah.
Are you going to put all these stipulations in there so that people know they may not be allowed if we were to do the 50 people?
Ellie, we have so much things that we're trying to work out.
I'm going to
It may be robocalls, we don't know. Exactly. There's a lot of things come up that change. Sunday's gonna help us know more what we're gonna do.
Yeah, because the more you write in a letter, the more people don't read it.
Right, and they don't read it.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, are we gonna meet, John?
No, it's up to you, you don't have to, it's 11:00.
Yeah. Can I ask a quick question? Are we gonna be able this year, I was a counter the last time, and it was very frustrating to sit there and count all them votes and then not know who got how many votes each. Will we do that different this year? Can we?
You answer to, at that point, to the,
What?
the chairperson.
Dale, the board voted.
I got an email last night from council, I didn't read it.
Dale, the board voted to put that in the chairperson's, guidelines. So yes, it will be recorded and mentioned.
The vote will be enough.
Oh, yeah. But not, I think, here. No, right.
Just use that.
Oh, you don't even have that ready yet. Well, I'm going to go in there. I have to guess. Okay.
Well, we don't.
That's what I was just.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, I just want to make sure we have this.
Let me show you something.
Right, we can tell.
We don't want pizza for the voters.
Well, because you're gonna be here. No, not for the people, but for,
No.
oh, okay, so then we're gonna let Debbie and Darlene go up there. Well, I'm just saying. But
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
because some people there will be.
They're gonna be crazy. Yeah. But we do need to mention next time that we're gonna allow for the election.
Oh,
Because we don't, right now, we don't allow.
Put that down on the 15th.
Yeah. Please. I'm sure mentioned it today, and we guys have so much going on, it's like, yeah. That'd be crazy.
We've had something like that.
Now, there are a couple of here.
Now, the bank doesn't have to.
No, 1 year. 1 year.
1 year, well, they've got about 3.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Banks get away with a lot. Banks get away with a lot.
Yeah.
Usually the big ones like Wells Fargo and Bank of America, you know, Chase. The biggies, they just.
Want me to give your opinion?
Yeah.
I don't know what I did.
Oh, well,
You'll find me then.
either that or it's still up, and with my water. You know how many bottles of water I've left?
Yeah, probably.
Here's my glass.
Oh, no. I'm thinking, I may grow my eyes, but you make faces too.
I did.
Oh, I told him you.
You think you are. Oh, wow. So, yeah.
We had 8 of them, at least 8 of them we brought in. So we can take those to the right? Oh, okay. That was that.
Sometimes they get, little. They have to like.
I heard one of the women remark that she's scared already and they haven't even had the election.
Well. I heard about this running for president, or for the beach.
Now, at the board of equities we worked at, we ran for the board. And then the board was convened and the board elected.
Well, that's the reason why this one person for running. If she would get it, a lot of things will change.
That the board actually elects the officers.
Right.
That's, unfortunately, there are some board members who don't want to be president. And unfortunately, there are some who are only running to be president.
Whew. That was a marathon. That's the longest one I've been through.
I was asking them how long it usually goes when it went over 2 hours, and she said 15 minutes to 4 hours. So,
Never been on a 4-hour one, but sure felt like it. But I'm not sure.
one of the worst parts of the job, potential new boss every year.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, sir. We'll be up a little bit and we'll drop off. Get her. Okay, all right, thanks. Bye-bye.
I'm assuming. Someone's off during the meeting. Oh, yeah? That's my family. Ding, ding, yeah. And the tires are ready, are here.
Oh, yeah, the
water
for the water tank.
I don't know, I don't want to fool
Get
with that.
tires and rims, or they're gonna have to put them on.
You're gonna have to put them on. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to fool with that today. Now, I mean, if I know earlier, and I can go drop them off, and it's not like we need them today, but all right, Debbie, is that okay, guys? Come on, jeez. All my brothers and sisters, most of them are retired and they have nothing to do but sit around and send freaking text messages. I guess I can get out of this. I hope so, because I am